On your path to $1 million product, there's not one correct model. What's important is that you pick a lane and you stay in it long enough for the numbers to make sense. Now, I'm a high ticket guy. I love high ticket, and you're going to hear me talk a lot about high ticket on this channel. But the very first $1 million product that I made was off the back of a $7 PDF. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the lessons that I learned from taking a $7 PDF and turn it into over $1 million in sales. If you're new here, my name is Chin Gregory, and on this channel, I share everything that I've learned from helping coaches, creators, consultants create digital products that crack over $1 million in revenue. Courses, coaching, consulting, e-com products, affiliate offers, you name it, I've done it. Now, I don't make any income claims on this channel, and I'm definitely not saying that you're going to be able to take a $7 PDF and generate millions of dollars of sales with it. Most people never implement anything they learn from free content. What I am doing is simply sharing my experiences and those of the businesses that I've worked with. I drop banger videos twice a week, so if you like the sound of that, go ahead and subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, great to have you back. Without further ado, let's dive in. So in today's video, we're going to cover 5 things. First off, I'm going to show you the offer that didn't work. Then I'm going to show you what I fixed and the $7 offer that did. Then I'm going to take you through the economics that made it scale, the distribution that blew it up, and then finally the lessons that you can apply to any education business. Now, the point of this video isn't to sell cheap stuff. The thing to understand is how one single conversion asset can plug into a wider system of digital products and print money. And so for you to understand why the $7 offer worked, I want to first show you what didn't work. My first offers in the men's dating niche were a $1,000 course and a 5K coaching package. And in that niche, that's what most people were selling, some type of mid-ticket course and coaching. Now, the angle that I came into that market with was how to create a social circle, because at that time, most of the offers were around pickup lines, right? What to say to a girl, how to approach the girl. And so here's me thinking that I'm clever, and I come out with a product that's got a completely different angle. The angle was, hey, if you create a really cool social circle, if you work on your lifestyle, you'll be able to get the dating life that you want. And the offer made good money, right? We did about 200 to 250K, which was pretty good for me at the time. But what really blew me away is that I was with a friend of mine in New York, and we got talking about numbers. And his dating offer in the same market to the same audience was doing $2 million a month. Here's me in the same industry, in the same market, same amount of hours a day, we're about the same age. My offer is doing 250K a year. He's doing $2 million a month. What was the difference? And so what he shared with me is something that I've taken through to every single offer that I've done ever since then. And it's something called the primary problem proximity. And this is the #1 predictor of performance, scale, and profit in any market. And so anytime you go into a market, anytime you have an offer, there is a primary problem that dominates the thinking of the individuals in that market. And the closer that your offer is to that primary problem, the more money you're going to make. The further away, the less money you're going to make. And so for me, I was selling build a lifestyle, build a social circle, which is cool for the people that wanted that, but that's too far away from the primary problem, which in this particular market was, what do I text her so she doesn't ignore me? How do I approach a girl? What line should I say? I'm scared of talking to her. How do I stop getting ghosted? How do I actually get a date? Those were the primary problems that my audience was dealing with. And so what I was selling was nowhere near that. And once I got to grips and once I really took on board, okay, I need to create an offer that's close to the primary problem, the offer basically wrote itself. And so I went from the social circle blueprint, which, good offer, but not that close to the primary problem, to 7 texts that make her chase you. Now, if you imagine that from a young man's point of view, a young guy who's trying to get dates, who's trying to improve his dating life, what's more appealing? The social circle blueprint or 7 texts that make her chase you? And the cool thing about this is it wasn't some, 300-page textbook. It did one thing extremely well. Copy and paste these texts, and she will chase you. Like, the promise was very, very, very simple. Copy and paste, so you don't have to think. She will chase you, she'll come to you, so you're not going to get ghosted, and you don't have to worry about approaching her. Very, very close to the primary problem. But the key here is that this $7 PDF was just a conversion asset in a much bigger PDF. It was a doorway into a stack of offers and the systems behind it. So on the surface, $7 doesn't sound like a path to $1 million, but the only reason this worked is because of the economics behind it. All right, so let me break down the economics. $7 on the front end, pretty straightforward. We had a $67 upsell and another upsell for $297, so 2 upsells. And then we had a $97 per month on the back end recurring offer. What that worked out to is that we had a 30-day LTV of $112. Now, I'll track anything from 30-day to 60-day LTV depending on the business, but for this particular offer, I wanted to track the 30-day LTV because the business that can spend the most to acquire a customer is usually the one that's going to do very well. Everyone else in my industry I know was really tracking day 1 AOV, so I was looking at 30-day LTV. That gave me a much better economic picture than $7 on the front end. So what that meant was with that 30-day LTV, let's do the math, right? If I'm trying to hit $1 million, 8,929 customers per year, roughly 170 new customers per week, 25 new customers per day. And whenever you do the math and you break it down into small numbers, it becomes a lot more manageable and a lot clearer to see what you actually do. So for me, the question now was, all right, where do I get 25 customers per day? So there really was only three distribution channels that were available to me at the time. Ads, and I didn't have any experience running ads and I didn't really want to spend or burn the money to learn. Organic, but I had no organic following, and so I couldn't really use that. And finally had affiliates. Well, which made sense at the time because I knew other people that had email lists and had their own traffic. So instead of burning money on ads or trying to grow a personal brand, I reached out to affiliates and I made them a no-brainer offer. If you promote my $7 product to your email list, I will give you $50 per sale. Now, on the surface, it looks crazy. Like, who's going to give someone $50 on a $7 sale? But I already did the economics. I know that my 30-day LTV is $112. So giving an affiliate $50 for a $7 sale, right, I can do that comfortably. I can do that all day. So obviously affiliates jumped at the chance. They started promoting it. They made a ton of money and word got round to all the other affiliates. And so now I had a machine that I knew was working. All it had to do now was actually scale that machine. Now, once I knew the numbers worked, we were basically printing money at this point. I brought in an affiliate manager and I gave him one job. Your job is to go out and get as many affiliates as possible and ensure that they promote the heck out of this thing. And you do that, I'm going to give you 10% of all the sales that come in from the affiliates. This thing was ripping it. It was printing money. Affiliates were sending 500 to 2,000 customers every single month without me doing basically anything on the front end. I had my affiliate manager, I had a customer service person, and it was me, right? And so I kind of focused on making the course better and doing some stuff on the front end. But for basically 2 years, I don't really do anything on the front end because all of the sales were being driven by the affiliates. It was one of the best businesses I've ever had. But it really came down to understanding the economics, making it so that the affiliates had a win-win, and then just letting people do their thing. I had the maximum amount of leverage, not because of the $7 PDF, but because of the ecosystem and economics that I built around it. And so this essentially became a cash producing digital asset that allowed me to have some of the best times that I've had as a digital marketer. So here are 5 lessons you can take away. First off, you want to think in terms of digital assets, not just courses. When you think in terms of digital assets, you're thinking of creating something that can become a cash producing asset, not just a course that, a lot of the time people can get the information off of ChatGPT, right? And a lot of courses just aren't that good. But if you can think of terms of digital assets, that will start to crystallize what type of offer you need and what type of ecosystem you need in order to hit those $1 million revenues. Also, you want to solve the primary problem. This is probably the biggest thing in terms of what unlocked the scale for me. But when I wasn't solving the primary problem, my course, my offer was doing okay, right? It was doing a good 6 figures a year. But the primary problem is the number one predictor of how much money, how much profit, how quickly something will scale. And as soon as you can get close to the primary problem, whatever offer you're in, whatever niche you're in, you're going to be able to scale a lot quicker. You want to understand the economics behind $1 million. Even though I had a $7 front end, I knew that my 30-day LTV was $112. And knowing my 30-day LTV was $112, that allowed me to reverse engineer exactly how many sales that I needed in order for me to hit my target. I needed 25 sales per day, and that led me to pick a core distribution channel. Couldn't do ads because I didn't have any experience there and I didn't want to spend money learning. Didn't have a personal brand because I wasn't posting on social media a lot. I really just used it for fun. And so the only distribution channel that I could use at that time was affiliates. But you can use whichever one you want. The point is, pick one core distribution channel and just ride that thing until you hit the numbers. And then finally, replace yourself with a system. Once I decided distribution channel, I brought in somebody to effectively replace myself so that I wasn't doing as much of the manual work. I gave myself that leverage by using an affiliate manager and using a system that could scale without me. Your end game is owning the machine, not the person that's running the machine. You want to build it, you want to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and you want to scale it and then enjoy the leverage that comes from the system that works to fund the type of lifestyle, the type of environment you want to be in. Now, hopefully you found that useful because I'm going to wrap this video up now. But if you are a creator or a coach or an influencer and you like the idea of having an online education business that's built off of the back of a $1 million digital asset, just DM me NetLife on Instagram and we can talk about me helping you potentially put something like this together and building your own digital product and helping you implement in the systems that I've used multiple times to scale digital products above $1 million a year. So if you want my one-on-one help, just go ahead and DM me NetLife on Instagram. If you want access to the companion guide and the resources that come with this video, I put a link to them in the description as well. Either way, I'm excited to keep helping you, whether that be here on YouTube, inside of the vault, or as a one-on-one client. My name's Chin Gregory. God bless, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.